A modern-day paratrooper with his veteran counterpart. 5 former members of the 9th Parachute Battalion watched those from 16 Air Assault Brigade carry out ground training ahead of a commemorative jump over Normandy next week, marking the 70th anniversary of D-Day.
Coming here, rather proud really, to see these young chaps still doing what we did is really something.
On June 6, 1944, Private Fred Millward, only 20 years old, was one of the first to jump from the Dakota Plain to land in Nazi-occupied Normandy. Very few of his comrades survived. He feels he was one of the lucky ones.
The plane tilted, threw me out the door. My head hit the tailplane, took my helmet off. I had a 80-pound kickback on my leg, which should lower down and on a rope before you land. And that came off as well. So anyway, I landed, and luckily, well, very, very lucky, I was only about 200 yards from the spot I should have been.
The paratroopers here will be joined by the Americans, Canadians and French as 300 parachutes will engulf the skies over Normandy. It's an anniversary they're chuffed to be part of.
It's a huge honour, a huge privilege, and every time I've jumped in my military career, I've always felt a little bit nervous as the red light comes on and you know you're about to jump. Obviously then putting yourself in the shoes of these guys when they did it 70 years ago when there were Germans on the ground waiting to shoot them, that's going to make my little nervousness next week just pale into insignificance.
As well as reminiscing on the drills of ground training, the veterans took a trip down memory lane sitting in the Dakota aircraft. In the early hours of D-Day, 9th Parachute Regiment were ordered to jump from the aircraft landing near the German Merville gun battery. The mission was to attack and neutralise the battery to prevent an operation against the US and Brits arriving on the coast.
They jumped in mass to attack the Merville battery at night in the early hours of the morning, 6th of June. And they were scattered all over the place. Some of the men drowned because the Germans had flooded the rivers. Some men couldn't make the rendezvous points. Men were lost. It was absolute chaos for them.
The visit here to Merville Barracks is not just about meeting the current paratroopers and their old comrades. It's also a time of reflection for the veterans.
You remember all the lads we left behind, and you see all the graves and all the gravestones, and you feel how lucky I was that I got through after all, and those other lads didn't.
And it will be those lads that didn't make it that will be in the thoughts of these veterans when they watch the parachutes fall over the skies of Normandy next week on the 5th of June. Laura Hawkins, Forces News, Colchester.